Hello, this is Greg Hawk. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about an old mining town called Nugget, Arizona. It's just north of Globe, Arizona on what's called Nugget Wash. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll give you a Google Earth shot of it. I'll give you some history of it, pages out of newspapers, and we'll have a pretty thorough look of it and talk about some of the mines in the area. All right, and let's go for it. This is a Google Earth shot I put together and put pins in marking the Silver Nugget mine, town of Nugget, the mill site, and Nugget Wash Spring on up the ways. All right, it kind of gives you an idea of the area. It's about a quarter mile from the Silver Nugget mine to the town of Nugget. Here's a little clip about the actual town of Nugget. It had a post office from January of 1881 to March of 84. And there's only about 125 workers and miners there, mostly just tent structures. All right, and here's a little bit about the Silver Nugget mine. And this was in the newspaper of October of 1878. And it says they've made another shipment of 1,000 ounces of silver. After I took some still shots, I went back to my truck and I got my drone out and I figured it's a lot better if I could give you an aerial shot of this mill so I give you a better perspective. It's been a couple months since I run this drone, so I'm just trying to zoom in on it here. The top tank was probably the water tank which fed the circuit, and usually circuits are going downhill. They're gravity feed. They don't have conveyors and everything. So I probably went from a rock crushing at the beginning, probably a secondary crusher, then it went on down in this little channel running down to what looks like an arasta. We think that was possibly had a Chilean ball mill there, which is like 3 large steel wheels going around in a circle, crushing the ore down finer. And you can see the bolts and the supports on the side, so that's what we're kind of thinking. I wish I had an old picture of it anyway. And after it came out of there, we think it went over to these big tank over to the side. It's been divided up into 4 different segments. It possibly to float the ore, or maybe even doing some leaching. I'm not quite sure. I wish I had some old pictures of it anyway. Probably gives you a bit better idea. And this is above the 4-wheel drive road. All right. The next shot I'm going to give you is the coordinates to this. You can go on Google Earth and plug those in, and it'll take you right to it. And that's the old water tank up top. Okay, this is down the hill from the mill site, and right next to Nugget Wash. If you see all these large stones around there, a lot of them are still stacked in circles with kind of flat areas in the middle. This was most likely a tent camp. That's like a lot of the old mining camps where they were basically just tents. Even the first saloons that come in some of these old mining camps are no more than tents with a wood bench set up to serve liquor. Anyway, they said there was probably 100 to 125 workers and miners that lived in this tent camp. And up the stream there, probably less than a quarter mile was Nugget Wash Spring, and then downstream about a quarter mile was the Silver Nugget mine, which I showed you a clip of. All right, so it's pretty interesting. It's just trying to visualize how these people lived. It was a pretty rough life, and just to get by. But they found a lot of nuggets in this area, up to 3 and 4 pounds. So it kept people going for a while. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, go to our website at desertroamerpress.com and check out our treasure blog and videos. Thanks again.